Welcome back. This is MDawg, and I know it's been a minute, a couple days. I've been busy, but back with a video for you today, and we're going to be fishing here at the Norwegian Sea. I'm here at 34-meter hole, which probably at this point, if there's one place in the world of Russian fishing for that I've made the most videos from, my guess is this is it. Let me know what you think. Is there somewhere I'm not thinking of that maybe even is a close second? I don't know. It's just so good here. But what I want to mention before I get started is actually a different YouTube channel, because I saw them post this earlier today. I think I've talked about this channel already in the last few months. It's just popped up, at least for me, fairly recently. I guess I could do a little bit of research and see like when they actually did start making stuff, but it's called RF4 Daily Spots. And they do these really nice, typically less than 5-minute videos. And they do a good job, I think, of describing, even in the title, where the spot is and kind of what you have a chance of doing if you use their suggestions. So I really have appreciated this. Today they came out with a video that says Norway, you can make 1,000 silver per hour. It's a really nice title, right? So I had to check it out, and it was such a cool like setup and stuff that they're using that I decided, like, okay, I'll take the bait and I'll give it a try myself. And so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a longer video, so you want the short piffy version, then certainly check out RF4 Daily Spots. And if I am on top of things, I will try to link them in the description of this video, or yeah, in the either in the chat or the description, hopefully in the description. But let's get on to it. Let's start fishing. This is the setup we're going to be using. It's one thing I like about this is it's consistent across the board. We are going to be using 4/0 hooks, and across the board we're going to be using this 4.5003 Redman Tackles Quicker. So we're using a jigging rig, so whether you're looking at the top of the rig or down in all of the different places of the rig, this is the rig we're going to be using. And I'm going to try to get an hour of fishing in, and we'll see if we can get close to 1,000 silver. And yeah, who knows? We'll give it a shot. Okay, here we go. So we're starting at almost 3 a.m. And let's see how this goes. It makes sense with the bite rate to just kind of keep you here a lot, I will. If it's a little slower bite rate and it makes sense to just kind of bring you back as I'm catching fish, we can do that as well. All right, so first fish on the drop. I often like using a jigging rig setup like this in the evenings, overnight hours. But it's fun when you also give it a try during the daytime, like we're going to be doing here, and just kind of sticking with the jigging rig for the full cycle of a day. So let's, see how this goes. We start off with a 4.5 kilo safe. Could be better, could be worse, honestly, but what we want to see is over the course of the hour how we're doing. By the way, they did sort of try, it looked like they were trying to stay on the left side of the 34. They kind of drew a circle, like maybe over to 34 some, but kind of staying below it a good bit. So I'll keep an eye on things, but I'll try to do similar to what RF4 Spots did for their test. And, they didn't say that they were guaranteeing that we would make 1,000 silver an hour, but they were saying you can, which that feels like honestly, a lot of times spots out here on the Norwegian Sea are kind of that way, where you have a pretty high ceiling, and consistency can be pretty good too, but every hour is not going to be exactly the same, at least typically. I did notice that they had a couple of really nice spiny dogfish, and they had a couple of nice dabs, and I think they had a couple of lumpfish in their hour. So to me, that is really what will perhaps shape how good our session is some of those edge cases that might be worth a little more silver or whatever, versus if you just kind of consistently catch safe the whole time. Not that you're not going to still do really well, but it may not be exactly the same. Okay, a little whiting. Yeah, really healthy whiting. That could also be a point of really improving how good your session is. By the way, over on Cozy, I'm trying a spot at Old Berg, very well-known, famous spot, 3558, using a certain type of worm, which that reminds me, I wanted to send some more night crawlers Cozy's way as I test out that spot. But unfortunately, so far, the spot has been 100% grass carp. And that's not what we're hoping to catch off those night crawlers at all. So we'll see if things change. It may have just been the time of day when I happened to start fishing there. But yeah, I've already had to increase the leader size that I'm using because, you know, we weren't planning on going for 100% grass carp, I'll tell you that. But it should be a pretty nice slow bite rate over there at Old Berg. And there's a nice little haddock. Love to see a big juicy haddock. So we're still just a little south of 34. Looks good. So Cozy shouldn't be too distracting for us, since it will be a slower bite rate with those night crawlers and big hooks. That is that's an interesting question. That feels like a bit of a trolley question. What single lure is active at sea right now? Obviously, there's probably like 400 lures that are active at the sea right now. I mean, it's a weird question. Different lures, different spots, different times of day. All right, so this is going to be fish number 5. So far it's been, I mean, this is, first thing in the morning. Good bite rate, what you expect. Oh, it's another dab though. If we don't start drifting north, I'm going to move us north. I don't want to go too far south. But there's 5 fish in 5 minutes. It's a good rate so far. I like it. I am going to do perking immediately. I mean, if you were really wanting to try to hit more, crabs and dabs and that kind of stuff, you might slow down the perking, just drag it across the bottom some. But I don't think that's necessary. We still have a good chance of seeing the flatfish or the crabs, even while getting some perking going to hopefully have a little better bite rate. What are we hoping for here? Maybe a whiting or a mackerel or something. This is small. Very small. Oh, not as small as I thought, but all right, so there's our first spiny. Again, I think that's could be one of the keys here is do we hit a nice spiny? Hmm. Maybe next time we cast, I will get a quick glance at. I'm just wondering if there's any wear on the line or the leader we're using. Sometimes that's helpful to know as we get a sense of are we hitting many larger fish. What would be really nice is if we somehow dodge cod. Cod are going to be an adventure if it's a decent sized cod on this small of a setup. All right, 10 kilos safe. So 2% wear, 5% wear. It's pretty strong. I'm sure the Regal's starting to get a little wear. I've just kind of been ignoring the fact recently of repairs, but I probably need to do some repairs on some of my equipment that I use most often. It's been a while since I've done many repairs. One thing that is nice about this Oldberg spot is even when I do get a bite, it's such a short clip. It's like an 8-meter clip. Ooh, okay. Another spiny. That is not like, assuming it's not a big grass carp or something, it's not like it takes long to get it in. Okay, yeah, I'm liking this. So far, we're on some pretty good species of fish. The Quicker 4.5003 doing pretty well so far. I wonder where Baster just caught that trophy perch. Maybe at Mosquito? Looks like that's what they were targeting, which makes me think Mosquito trophy card or something. Level 40 trophies, Mosquito, perch. Yeah, I bet that's the case. Who knows, but that would make sense. Yeah, they just said Roach and I'd left, so that makes sense. That's amazing that there's a chance that Roach could be the last one. What a strange turn that would be. Okay. Yeah, no, I like where we are. We ended up drifting just sort of right into the area we wanted to be, so I think we're good. What are we at? 10 minutes, 10 fish. So we're kind of on that fish per minute right now, which that's usually a very good sign, especially when the fish quality is as interesting as it has been here. You got a little hake. Okay, that's getting to be a little better size for the whiting. We had a very small dab and a very small whiting, but yeah, we're still at least one fish per minute. And I would say, just looking at this, we're doing pretty good. We might need like a couple of really nice fish to actually get close to 1,000 silver in this hour, but we could hit those. Um, I think we're getting the filler. The fillers are looking good. They're solid. But now we need a couple of those all stars at the top. Not just like solid everyday players, but we need a couple of all stars. I guess we've got room for one or two, you know, call ups from AAA or something. Safe. The nice thing about Saiths like this, when it's on the drop, even if it's a smaller size, you're getting it in so fast. Oh, and that one's a pollock. That's actually really nice. Okay, so that's especially good. You're talking about a matter of like 20 seconds between those two fish. And it's a pollock, that's going to be probably, if not on the top row, in the top couple of rows on silver per fish at the end of this. Okay, that's the worst. That's the worst fish we've had yet. 109 grams sculpin. All right, another spiny. Uh-oh. You know, one thing I'm curious about. 9.6 cod. I wonder how that compares to a 9.6 saith. Cod actually might be worth more, even though that's a small cod, and a 9.6 saith would be a large saith. I'm not sure. Um, I know that I often think like, oh, I just, would rather dodge the cod when I'm using a smaller setup like this. But then when we get to the end and we like sort the fish by how much silver they're worth, um, a lot of times it seems like the top line, and a lot of it are cod. So that's a little Plaice. Oof, they're getting bigger. I'd just love to see like a larger spiny, even if it's not quite trophy, just like up there a little bit. The 3.1's getting there for sure. Yeah, I agree, Relicade. I agree. That is true. It's amazing. I mean, like that's the thing that I think dinks and F1s that are just it's hard to compare other fish, especially carp fishing. It's part of why copper just stands out so much, I think. And now you're having fun. You caught a koi, huh? Yeah, the amount of silver on those F1s and dinks, pretty crazy. Now, dinks are big, and so that's why I think for a lot of people, especially if you're trying to make it work with, slightly undersized gear or whatever, like F1 are small, easy to get in, and still just very lucrative. Oh, interesting. A turbot. Would also love to see a couple big turbots. Those are money makers too. So what are we doing here? 29 minutes, 29 fish. We're keeping up the average pretty good. We are right at 30 minutes. So halfway. Not sure we're at 500 silver. But, you know, if we could hit a fish or two that are worth 80 or so a piece to sort of balloon up our average a little bit, we might get close at least. I always am just unsure. A lot of times I find that the amount of silver for my net is higher than I thought it was going to be, but you know, in a situation like this where you're starting at hoping to get 1,000 silver, I just that's a pretty big number, especially on like small, you know, just catching these type of fish. But we'll see. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, there was a time there where copper was just so consistent. I think that the hesitation I have is that I just, if you have PVA, I'm just not sure there has been a time where you couldn't do pretty good, like make more silver there than most situations. Um, so copper's just continued to be really good. But yeah, there's a difference like right now how copper feels. Um, Probably the consistency of F1s isn't quite what it was right now. Now you know, it can change again, but at least at the moment it seems that way. Yeah, thankfully that's the way it works. Spots change, fish come and go. Overall, I think it would be a lot less healthy and a lot less fun game if that's not how it happened. I frankly have been surprised at how good copper has sort of stayed. Again, it's not that it hasn't changed, things have definitely changed, but like, man, it's just so good. 1,200 an hour. Oh my gosh. I don't know that that's I don't know that that's realistic. Is that our second non-marker, by the way? No, it's probably our third, at least. Whiting, dab. Didn't we have a sculpin? Yes. Non-marker sculpin. So only 3 non-markers right now. Ooh, fish got away. Interesting. Did I just zone out? I don't. I missed that. Dab. $242 whiting. So the end of this session will mostly be the overnight hours. I'm curious to see if the bite rate can sustain. There's a little safe, which really less safe overall than I was expecting. You know, things do change. I think last time I was out here, there might have been a few more safe. Yeah, we'll see what 39, 38. So we're close. We might be slipping a little bit on the average, but not by a lot, I don't think. And, you know, 1 or 2 fish on the drop, and then we'll be back even. So we'll see. I do think at night, overnight, we're a lot. Ooh, that's an early eel pout. Okay. I think we're a lot less likely to see stuff on the drop once it's actually overnight time, but the bite rate could still be pretty good on bottom. That's interesting. So trophy gibble, we're pretty sure relicades at bucket spot, and probably on Tootie. Could be on pineapple, but I think is likely on Tootie right now. Mm, American Plaice. That's the first one, but it's not marker size. I wonder if marker starts at 500 grams. I'd be surprised if you could catch a 500-gram American Plaice and it not be a marker. So, but I'm not sure on that. Okay. Hmm. There's an average helper. A couple of mackerels, maybe. 44, 43. Hmm. That's nice. Reese is saying caught a poor beagle and a Greenland shark on the lurker. I think he's down at 41 meter. But that's pretty cool. Those are some big fish. What is this? Turbot. Okay. Oof. So hard to lift. There we go. That's a pretty nice little turbot. That'll help. It's actually a good question. I would think Reese has a drop shot on, but I could be wrong. I mean, Reese has, I think, been fishing in the ocean for a while, but drop shot in the ocean is kind of like PVA for carp fishing. Not that you can't do it without it, but you will notice a pretty nice difference once you have it. Yeah, so Reese does have droppers. And, you know, the thing that's like harder to figure out, and maybe people have strong opinions on this, but like if Reese didn't have those droppers, would he have still caught those same exact fish on the just the lurker if he didn't have the droppers on there? Maybe that's how it works. I'm just not sure. Another turbot, but this one was very small. Right, we're at 47 minutes. I still think we need like a couple of just bangers to push this silver per hour average up if we want to flirt with 1,000 or even 800. Okay, that was a quick bite. Okay, seems like a safe. It didn't get to the bottom, so that eliminates a lot of fish, or some fish from this spot. It hit it pretty hard and then kind of slowed down. Okay. That is a really nice fish. And that is a new trophy. I'm pretty sure we were at 81 before that. That is a very nice fish. Wow. Wow. Well, if we count the trophy amount, I don't even know how much that trophy will be worth. Wow, interesting. Look what Cozy just caught. Uh, Oh, that was a nice fish. Cannot believe we got that. So glad we're in the midst of a video. At least, you know, at least we caught it on film. Hey, that's our first lumpfish. So that could be an issue. I mean, we'll see. It's what? We got 10 in-game minutes left. That could be an issue. I think it looked like there were several, like at least 2 or 3 lumpfish caught. So that could be an interesting thing there. So we do have a European Plaice on the wall. I guess in some ways, like if you have European Plaice, maybe you want to have American Plaice. I don't know. Um, the hesitation is I bet it's going to be worth some nice silver, and I just think these fish are so weird looking. Um, but it is like one of the more exotic trophies, I guess, that I've caught in the sea. We can look at that real in a second here and see what the another spiny. Love to see it. All right, let's try to look really quick here. All right, trophies, Norwegian Sea. So there's American Plaice. That's a new one. Got the cod, the herring, mackerel, wolffish, cusk, hake, plaice, haddock, pollock, saithe, sardine, sculpin, small redfish, dogfish, spotted wolffish. That's another exotic one, I would argue. The Vivi and the whiting. It's pretty interesting. Couple of spinies in a row. I like that. I mean, these last 5 fish, even with the cusk, have been very good. Another haddock. Very nice, Brink. Thank you. Puppies. Uh, Beware. This old berg spot. It's been fun. It's fine. It's not like killing it, but you know, we've seen a few interesting fish. Got that one trophy crucian, but my goodness, there's so much grass carp action. You got to be, you know, ready for that. Ooh, another spiny. All right, what are we at? 56. 56 and 54. Yeah, we've done good on the average at least. Like this average. Okay, another Vivi. So I think we gotta be getting close. Yeah, 58 minutes. So maybe one more fish, unless it hits on the drop. In terms of our hour, now I might fish slightly over the hour, but we'll see what just the hour gives us. Oh man, I love these spinies. All right, we're still under an hour, so we're gonna catch one more fish. Even though catching this fish technically will probably push just past an hour. It's not an hour yet, so I feel like we're okay casting this one more time. I think if you don't have the spiny dogfish trophy, or you just, you know, want to catch some, that's the one species that seems like it's a little more active than normal. To have this many spinies in an hour feels really healthy. So um, that's one of the highlights of this hour, I think, is like seeing those little sharks come out, and then of course having that trophy out of nowhere, just the RNG of that. But I think the spinies are kind of a highlight of this spot. If there had been a couple more of the lumpfish, that would have certainly been interesting. I think that would have helped overall silver XP for this hour. But again, that's an RNG thing. I think you likely could fish here for an hour and get 3 or 4 of them. We just happened to only hit one. And I like that this last fish is just like taking a little bit of time to finally hit it. Ooh. And did we get cusked on our last fish? I don't know. Doesn't seem like a safe. It could be. We're like overpowering it, but feels a little bit more like a small cusk to me. Yeah, we know our fish, don't we, chat? Alright, chat, you're not here, but anyway, alright. I'm going to pause it now. I actually might cast a few more times since I've got a little more time left on my boat ticket, but I'm going to pause it here and then I will unpause once I'm back at the harbor. And again, we'll just like examine just this 1 hour of fish, not including whatever couple of fish I catch here at the end. All right, welcome back. Let's wrap this thing up. So, $14.93. Obviously, that's not the end of the story. That's not exactly an hour of fishing. All right, this is where we left off. So 1,316 in 1 hour of fishing. Now that's very good, but it really doesn't make sense to count the trophy. But if I take the trophy off, we're still at 966. So, I mean, I think if nothing else, we just want to say props to RF4 Daily Spots. I think even without the trophy and in 1 hour, yeah, we're right there at 1,000 silver. That's pretty cool. And what's amazing is all that was without the cafe. Somehow we managed to not hit the cafe orders at all. Now we're close. You could hit the hake one. You could hit a MDawg. You could definitely hit the eel pouts. I think you also have a slim chance of hitting the edible crab. People have been pulling those crabs off of the 34 and using those types of quickers. I think you've got a decent chance of seeing a crab. So there's some cafes we could have hit, but we just didn't, and we end up with, you know, a lot of silver. If we sort by price, which obviously the trophy source, but look at all these spinies. And this is, I think, one of the secret sauce of this spot is all of these spinies. And imagine, you know, like I said, multiple lumpfish is going to help you. Multiple really nice turbots are going to help you. There's that pollock. So I talked about, would he be on the first row, second row, third row? And part of why we did so good is because he's all the way down here on the third row, but he's a 27 silverfish all by himself. So just very good. Thanks again to RF4 Spots for a fun exercise to see how we did in an hour. And nice to get another trophy. Another trophy we hadn't caught here on the Norwegian Sea. So that is very, very exciting. Tight lines, everybody. Let me know how you do if you try this hour challenge out. And I'd be curious how it would go without the droppers. That's going to slow your bite rate down a good bit. But I think you'd probably still have some pretty nice fish overall. Either way, thanks for being here, Tight Lines. I'll see you next time.